Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team Serendipity from 21 Senior High School of Surabaya. I'm Angelina.
I'm Rayhan.
I'm Nashira.
And before that, the title of our research is ECFATO, or the effect of cephalothorax flower from Lithopenaus faname shrimp to increase testosterone hormone. But in this research, we're only talking about for for people with diabetes. This research is a development from our previous research that is APROVA, or the effect of ectoparasites on the production of Lithopenaus faname shrimp harvest in fresh and brackish water. They have made a conclusion with 35 tons of harvest in the pond lake of Probolinggo of Lithopenaus faname shrimp. So from our previous research, it's also a development from our previous research that has made a conclusion that salinity is the main factor of ectoparasite. Let's move to the next slide.
Next slide.
So this is our research team. The first research, as you can see on screen in front, is this. The first one is salinity is the main factor of ectoparasite, and then we develop it by using a fresh water from the pond lake in Probolinggo, and we develop it by maintaining the ectoparasite that doesn't live in the pond lake because its variable are well constructed, and it made a conclusion that fresh water is better than seawater because there's no salinity. Because in the sea, the Lithopenos faname shrimp needs for about 25 until 45 ppt to cultivate better. But we actually found new research that by using a 0 degree of salinity, it made the harvest even better than using the 45 ppt because there's no salinity, there's no ectoparasite because ectoparasite can't live without salinity. And our research right now is the effect of cephalothorax flower. It's actually reducing the waste from the shrimp, but we obviously know that if we use the shrimp in culinary world, we only use its meat, but we don't really use its head or even its outer body skin. So that's why me and my team are using the head or the cephalothorax and its outer body skin to make the cephalothorax flour that contains much more protein and less sugar for people with diabetes. So actually, this is a flour with much more protein and less sugar levels. Uh, Next slide. Okay, our previous research, we found out that fresh water is better than seawater because it hasn't have any salinity. But the harvest right now, with the same method as before, it came up until 90 tons of Lithopenaus panama shrimp by using a fresh water. So that's obviously a big development for us. Next slide. Okay.
Okay, so before getting into the material, I will explain a little about cephalothorax. So cephalothorax is an upper body part of a shrimp, which consists of its head and its thorax part. This part and the skin is rarely used and mostly being thrown away. And as she mentioned before, this part, which is the skin and the cephalothorax, is high in protein and calcium and also cholesterol, which is beneficial for increasing the amount of testosterone hormone in someone. And also, this part is low on glucose, which means it is safe for diabetic people to consume. So we decide to utilize those unused part or the waste to make some shrimp flour.
Okay. Next slide.
Okay, next is the methods. The methods tell us about how we make the shrimp flour and also the quantitative sampling methods. First, we separate the head and its outer body skin from the meat. Second, we air fry it for 80 minutes with the temperature 80 degrees Celsius. Third, input into chopper, then filters it until becomes smooth. Lastly, put it inside a container and we compare with the nutritional value with three other flour, which are wheat flour, tapioca starch, and cornstarch by using the mass as the subject. Because the mass physiology, and genetics are similar to humans.
Okay. So in the methods, we use a quantitative method sampling. It means that we take the data by ourselves and we use the mice as a subject for comparing it to some kinds of other flowers. We use four types of flowers in this research. The first one is obviously our cephalothorax flower. Second is cornstarch. Third is wheat flour, and last is tapioca starch. We have found it that the cephalothorax flower makes the mice grows doesn't involve into a bigger mice like the other kind of flowers. So the weight is stabilized, not like the other kind of flowers, make our mice grows much more and come an obesities mice. Next. So here's the data and discussion. Uh, if you can see in there, there's the mice weight that we're using for 16 days, and we have tested out the mice weight by ourselves. And there's a nutritional value between three kinds of other flowers, and and there's a nutritional value from the Lithopenasona mushroom flower. Next. Okay, right now we're going to tell you about our product here because we're using the functional food.
Okay, so sliding, which stands for Serendipity Lithopaneus Paname pudding, is a food product in the form of pudding that utilize our cephalothorax flour, which is beneficial to increase and maintain the amount of testosterone. Since it is high in calcium, which means it is also beneficial to strengthen and maintain your bones. Next. So to assess the flavor and the odor of this pudding. So we conduct an organoleptic test in our school area, which receives around 30 response from the people in our school. So for the result, we can see in the screen over there. Okay.
And for the flour, for shrimp flour, this is the shrimp flour. We can't really make much because it's really hard to make, and it needs much more cephalothorax than just the result. So actually, it decreased from our. And then next one, last one. Can you move it to the next slide, please? But anyways, okay. Conclusion: we conclude that the cephalothorax flour is effective for increasing and maintaining the amount of testosterone hormone, and it's safe for diabetic people. So if you have a family with diabetes, you can actually use the shrimp flour as an alternative for making pastry, for making puddings. But in my research, we're using pudding because pudding isn't really common for people. Like the aftertaste is a bit bad because the cephalothorax is really, how would you say it? It doesn't have very nice aroma like the other kind of pudding, so that's why it's not really common. And can you switch to the panen part? The, the no. Next slide. The yang panen yang the other files yang. Okay. As you can see, those are the data that we have from the pond lake in Probolinggo. The total of harvest is 59.7 tons, so effectively for approximately 60 tons of Lithopenas shrimp by using a fresh water. So it could clearly said that it's better by using fresh water than seawater because the harvest is much more better than the seawater. And that's it for us. Thank you. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, applause. I want to some notes. Number one, the presentation is good. Okay. Two, the term is interest, need proof in prototype or actually product.
There's actually a one of our product, but we didn't brought it
Yeah.
here because there's
Okay.
no table.
Yeah. Number three, the methodology should be clarified. It's clear. Methodology, I mean, is not to go focus, but better next time. So go to clear methodology. Okay. Number four, same with the one presentation, must have the courage to show different with previous research and what are the advantages of this research.
Oh yeah, we haven't say about that because the first is to maintain the testosterone hormone because protein can maintain and increase the testosterone hormone for people who lacks, and because this flour isn't doesn't have any low sugar, it's low sugar because and it could make it's safe for people with diabetes actually. So that's the advantage from this
Yeah.
research.
Okay. Overall, it has been amazing. It's good luck. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Applause
you.
with SMA 21 Surabaya.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation, SMN 21 Surabaya, and thank you, Mr. Jupri, for the reviews. Okay, now, so let's go ahead and continue to the third team. Please welcome Haizuran Alvaro from SMA Alikma Boarding School Batu. Let's give them a round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings, Honorable Judge, participants. My name is Abid Mamresdan.
And my name is Kaizuran Alvaro.
We are students from Alikma Senior Boarding School Batu, and today we're going to give a presentation about our research titled
Application of Pleurotus ostratus planting media or backlog as remazolelodai absorbent in batik home industry liquid waste.
But before we actually go to our presentation, I realized that this is actually after hours for us. So I noticed that you guys are a little bit sleepy. Like this is this is actually the time where we usually like have our like noon sleep, right? So before that, I want to test your what do you say? Um,
What?
bravery? No, I
No.
was trying to find a way.
Just
Spirit, yeah.
yes.
I want
Little
to
spirit.
test our spirit. Okay. So I'll be counting from 1 to 3, and on the count of 3, I want you to yell. What? What should we yell?
So we will say Tripradana.
No, 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 no.
So what?
About
We'll say-
here, about this Olympiad. What? What should we say? How about if on the count to 3, on the third count, on the count on 3, we yell ITS Actuaria. How about that? Okay. So I will count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you will yell ITS Actuaria. You get me? Okay, let's try it. 1, 2, 3. ITS Actuaria. still
Still low
yet.
spirit.
Low spirit.
Oh.
Again, try again. 1, 2, 3.
Tes Aktuaria.
Masya Allah. Round of applause for everybody here. Okay, now that I have checked that everybody is already in spirit, okay, I will start my presentation now. In every presentation, we go to the background. So please can the operating team
The background. Next slide.
for the background. Okay, let me step off this stage. As we all know, batik has been recognized by the UNESCO as one of the World Cultural Heritages belonging to Indonesia.
Indonesia.
And according to the Indonesian Ministry of Industry, Indonesian batik production has grew over 14.37% over the last 2 years. And along with the increase in the number of batik production, there is also an alarming increase in the amount of batik home industry liquid waste found in waters, in rivers, and water systems around Indonesia.
And it's dangerous.
Huh? It's dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
Because the batik liquid waste contains remazolilo dye.
Very correct.
Yes.
It contains agents such as remazolilo dye. Remazolilo dye is containing azo compound. Azo compounds are carcinogenic and mutagenic in nature, which basically means they can cause cancer if you consume it. So raise your hand if you want to consume remazolilo. Correct.
Of course
Nobody wants to consume it. They will get cancer if they do, right? Okay, this is a problem. Next, on the other hand, in our schools area, in our boarding schools area, there are a lot of oyster mushroom farmers. And these oyster mushroom farmers, they utilize backlog. This is what we call backlog over here. Backlog is an oyster mushroom planting media. After the oyster mushroom farmers use backlog, they usually just throw it away. So we think, isn't it just a waste of material to throw backlog away, right?
Yes.
So we as researchers, we seek to find a way to use backlog as an absorbent to absorb remazolidide contents in batik home industry liquid waste.
Yes.
That's the background to our research. So
Next slide.
next slide. First, we want to prove that backlog can actually be absorbent for remazolidide in batik home industry liquid test.
Effectively.
Effectively, of course. So this is the test that we conducted. First, we have to prepare the backlog so that it can become the absorbent for remazolidide in batik home industry liquid waste. First, we clean the backlog to running water and activate it using a 1 molar citric acid bath for 24 hours. What will this do is that it will open the pores of the backlog so that it can become an absorbent for remazolidide
Remazolilo.
in
Batik liquid waste.
okay, batik liquid waste. Now that we have the backlog ready, next we have to find the batik home industry liquid waste.
And we take the batik liquid waste from
Batik Sidomulyo in Batu City.
Yes.
We get it from Batu City. It's actually a batik production center near our school.
Yes.
Now that we have the ingredients, we have to prepare a tool that we like to call the UV
Spectrophotometer.
Correct. The UV spectrophotometer. UV spectrophotometer is a tool to measure the wavelengths of concentration remazolidide in batik home industry liquid waste. Now that we have the ingredients and the tools, please next slide. We can conduct the two most important tests in our research, which is the optimum mass test and the optimum contact time test. I will not spare and bore you with the details of those two tests. What I can say is that from the optimum mass test, we can get that the optimum mass of backlog to absorb remazolidide was 700 milligrams, and the optimum contact time was what?
In treatment of 5 hours.
5 hours
yes.
and 700 milligrams.
Yes.
That's correct. Next, please.
Okay, this is the result that we get from our research. The first is the remazolilo calibration tool that as a basic data of UV spectrophotometer. Then we analyze the concentration of remazolilo in batik home liquid waste. and we found that the concentration of Remazole yellow dye was 8.5 ppm. So next slide, please. This histogram show that the higher mass of backlog, the higher concentration of Remazole yellow dye absorbed. And in this test, we found that the optimum mass of Remazole of backlog is in 700 milligrams of backlog mass, which can absorb the Remazole.
Yeah, can absorb the Remazole. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you.
And we found the optimum contact time interacted with the batik liquid waste was in treatment of 5 hours, which can absorb the Remazole concentration 95.87%.
Thank you. Next. So, the conclusion towards our research is that the higher the backlog mass interacted with batik home induced liquid waste, the higher Remazole yellow concentration in the batik home induced liquid waste is absorbed. Same goes for the longer backlog contact time interacted with the batik liquid waste, the higher Remazole yellow contents in batik liquid waste was absorbed. And from our research and the accumulated data we have collected, we can infer that backlog can be an effective adsorbent for Remazole dye in batik home induced liquid waste. Next, please.
So this is the prototype that we made.
This is the prototype that we made. And also my favorite part of this presentation because I get to move here and actually uh, explain about the details. So as you can see, there is three yellow squares we have here. The washing chamber, the filtration chamber, and the river. The river. Now, I want to explain something for you. Do you know where actually batik home industry liquid waste was collected? How? Well, in batik production, there is a process called batik washing, where after the production staff applied a dye to the cloth of the batik, it is then washed to rinse any excess dye. And that's basically where we get the batik home industry liquid waste. The batik home industry liquid waste will then flow from this chamber over here through this pipe to the filtration chamber. This filtration chamber is fulfilled or filled to the brim with activated backlogs.
And the optimum backlog, of course.
Optimum backlog. And after we leave it there for around 5 hours or more, we can then flow it to the river. This, of course, is just a prototype. There is still so much to improve from this prototype. From the suggestions that we get from yesterday's juries and judges, we can make some adjustments. Like before we flow it to the river, we can test it using a fish pond or maybe a plantation.
Yes.
And before we actually flow it to the river, we can test the chemical substitutes, chemical contents of the filtrated wastes.
Okay, enough.
Oh, thank you very much. That's all from us. Do you have any questions, Mr. Judge?
Okay, thank you. Give applause to the participant. Some notes. Number one, the presentation is good and the methodology is good, but be careful with overconfidence
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
and body movement. Because in the formal like this is a, if you overconfident, speed and think this is lost. Okay. Okay. And the other, the term raised in interesting need proof in prototype or actual product. So I mean this is a go to the actual research. So is to go to focus. The last overall it is been amazing.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Get it.
Okay, thank you very much from the presenter from SMA Alikma Boarding School Batu. Okay, let's go ahead and continue the presentation with the fourth team. So please welcome Bian Itsna Ashfa Al Asfia from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Let's give them a round of applause.
Oh, Bian.
Oh, Bian.
Dia tinggal dingin aja kan. Iya, takutnya kan nggak nyampe.
Good afternoon, everyone. So happy today we can be among great people. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found a collection of banana peel waste at a seller of fried banana or other banana product? Yes, what ladies and gentlemen see is a collection of garbage that is in a black plastic and ready to be thrown away, right? So, in the next few minutes, I'm Bian Isnas Falasvia, my friend Aziz Muzaki and Gina Shifawaira from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta will present you a nanotechnology innovation that can turn banana peel waste into beauty mask product. This is C-Mask, cosmetic mask based on carbon dots nanomaterial using banana peel waste as the precursor materials.
Okay,
Next.
ladies and gentlemen, actually all of us know that so many ways in our environment, in around us. Actually, the fact is 62% waste accumulation is come from household sector. And then 44% is come from small business. That is the fact. And all of us know that so many banana product like pisang goreng, pisang nugget, and many more. And this small business of culinary cannot process properly with the waste of banana. But that is not bad news. We can it is it we can move it become a profit. We can move become a profit by using nanotechnology, develop it with nanotechnology. I use a newspaper it from Yahoo Finance that in nanotechnology product in 2021 to 2026 will rise 35.5%. It's accompanied with cosmetic industry by 5.59%. It's a good news from us. So after we analyze all of these factors, we made innovative idea and innovative product called CMAS utilization of banana peel waste for beauty mask.
Next.
Okay, let's move how we made this product. This is our product, CMAS, our product. How we move, how to we made it. First, yes, that is our step. First, we prepare our banana peel waste. Then we fry it.
Then we roast it until a black. That's our picture. Then we grind it till become a powder. Then the powder we put into a bottle with a distilled water for 24 hours. Then this liquid we filter it to separate the coarse material. After that, we put this liquid into a microwave till it become a crust. This crust we mix with a distilled water. So the final product is black in color. We call it seeded liquid. So this is our CMAS. There are two main parts of our beauty mask. The first part is liquid, which is consists of seeded liquid and vitamin C. And the second part is a powder, which is consists of banana dry powder mixed with bentonite or kaolin powder.
Next. Before that, yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what tests we have done before marketing the products we made. The first test is the UV spectroscopy test. This test is carried out to determine the success of making carbon dots nanomaterials. This test uses a UV spectrophotometers, which measures absorption at ultraviolet to visible light wavelengths, namely 200 until 800 nanometers. After that, we continued with the second test. The second test is the antibacterial test. The antibacterial test is used to determine the quality of CMAX in inhibiting the growth of Staphylococcus and Epidermidis and Propionibacterium acnes bacteria. After carrying out the antibacterial test, we continued with the last test. The last test is the organoleptic test. The organoleptic test is used to find out respondents' preference for CMAX products so that we can evaluate CMAX before they are marketed. Let's see the result of the characteristic C dots using UV spectroscopy test. This test is presented in graphical form, which explains the absorption peak. This graph shows the absorption peak at wavelengths from 250 until 270 nanometers, with an absorption value of around 2.75 AU, which explain the electronic transition P until P conjugate. This also indicates the presence of the C double bond C functional group, which indicates the core part of C dots.
Okay, next. Let's move on to the most important part, namely the result of antibacterial tests. In antibacterial tests, we test a wide variety of sample mixtures. There are samples of pure seed dots, mass powder and pure seed dots, mass powder and water, and then seed dots and liquid, and then mass powder which has been equipped with seed dots liquid and fragrance. All of the samples were placed in a well surrounded by ready-to-grow bacteria, and we observe how the sample inhibited bacterial growth by looking at the clear zone that occurred around the well containing the sample. The wider the clear zone, the better the ability of the sample to inhibit bacterial growth. The bacteria used in this test were Staphylococcus epidermidis and Propionibacterium acnes, which are bacteria that cause pimples and itching on the facial skin. And it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, after passing 24 hours, a clear zone is formed for each sample with the diameter shown on the screen. From all the results in the two tables above, according to Darvis and Stowe through the research in 1971, all samples we made were able to inhibit bacterial growth with the moderate level of inhibition power. This result is impressive if we remember again that the raw material is an unused waste. So, next. Another important test is organoleptic test. This is a sensory test in which some panelists will directly use our product and then they will be asked the question regarding the condition before, while, and after using our product. There are many aspects of assessment, some of which are fresh sensation, brightening effects, reducing excess oil, and also moisturizing facial skin. There are also a few questions regarding packaging, texture, and also suggested prices. And of all the questions asked, the conclusion of this organoleptic test was that 84.8% of respondents would buy and distribute our product. This is indicate that our success in making some products that suit consumer interests. More interestingly, this product is made with the concept of waste treatment. So apart from participating in saving environment, we also can generate income.
Okay, next. Ladies and gentlemen, we move to the last part of our presentation.
Next.
Okay, the conclusion of our research. One, the preparation of syrup made from kepok banana peel using the roasting method has been successful. Two, based on the result of antibacterial testing, it can be concluded that this nanotechnology beauty mask has moderate inhibition against the growth of Staphylococcus epidermidis and Propionibacterium acnes bacteria that cause infection of the facial skin. And the last, based on the result of organoleptic test, it can be concluded that more than 80% of respondents responded positively to the presence of the CMAS.
Okay, that's all about our presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. We are grateful for here to listen to our project. We hope that you can find something useful from our presentation. For the best experience, you can try our product in our social media at namoist.id, namoist.id. Good afternoon, everyone.
Save our earth from waste for beauty.
Okay, thank you. Some notes. One, the presentation has been good. Number two, the methodology is good. But I want to note is this must be not this research is now or developed of previous research. In the presentation or the paper, you must write this is a new research or developed research. I think this is important. Okay. The last, the result of this study are a product. So in the future, you must be considering the commercial value. The financial calculation must be clear. The point is not only to be good at producing product, but also to think about the selling point. In the end, profit. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Overall is amazing. Please applause me to verification. Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
This commercial is important for result of research. So not only product is good, thinking is good, no, but to good future, you must all participants think about commercialis. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bian Itsna and friends from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta for the presentation, and Pak Jupri for the reviews. So let's go ahead and continue to the fifth theme. So now please welcome Dwi Susanto from Yogyakarta State University. Let's give them a round of applause.
Can we start the slide, please? Next. Yeah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we presented our research, we introduce our team. I am Dwi Susanto and my colleagues Arina Fauza and Ilham. We are from Nano Team Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. In the next few minutes, we will present a graphene oxide that is applied to air humidity sensor. Our sensor name is humidity sensor prototype NT01, which is environmentally friendly. The next slide, please. Okay, we made this sensor to overcome the global need for food. We hope this sensor can increase agricultural productivity and food production efficiency. The next slide, please. Okay, this is the left figure is graphene oxide allotrope. Graphene oxide is one allotrope of carbon, and he have a high sensitivity to water due to the presence of hydroxyl, carboxyl, epoxide, and carbonyl functional groups. Graphene oxide also have a fast response time in range of 15 until 95% HA, making it very good for use as a humidity sensor. There is still little research and industry using graphene oxide from ultrasonication based liquid phase exfoliation method as a humidity sensor. So synthesis in industry commonly use Hammer's method, which uses such chemicals such as sulfuric acid, hydrogen peroxide, and potassium permanganate. The method we use is more environmentally friendly compared to Hammer's method and more cheap compared to chemical vapor deposition method. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the sensor manufacturing method part.
Next slide, please. Okay, there are three main parts to make a humidity sensor, and it is graphene oxide synthesis, characterization, and application. First, we start from graphene oxide synthesis. The production of graphene oxide was carried out using ultrasonication-based liquid phase exfoliation. The graphene oxide solution was prepared by mixing distilled water, pure graphite powder, and surfactant. And then we stir it using magnetic stir until homogen, and we sonicate it using ultrasonic cleaner. Next slide, please. Okay, the most important part in ultrasonication is cavitation. Cavitation is the formation of microbubble, which then burst and exfoliate graphite to be graphene oxide. As shown in the image above, the image below illustrates the effect of adding detergent to graphite solution. Surfactant molecule has hydrophobic tail, and it will enter between graphene layers and help the exfoliation. Next slide, please. To determine the successful of graphene oxide synthesis, we use UV spectroscopy to find out the absorption characteristic of graphene oxide, and XRD spectroscopy to find out the information about crystal structure graphene oxide, and SEM-EDX or scanning electron microscope X energy dispersive X-ray to see the surface of graphene oxide and its elemental composition. The image on the left is the result of UV test. which present absorption peak at wavelength 227 nanometer and solder peak at 270 nanometer. And the image on the right is the result of XRD test, which present diffraction peak at 2 theta equal to 12.2 degree. That indicates that the graphene oxide has amorphous phase. Next slide, please. Okay. The same results show that graphene oxide consists of graphene sheets, while the EDX result that the C per O of graphene oxide is 2.4, according to what was stated by Lotska and et al. In their research, that C per O ratio of graphene oxide is the range of 1.8 until 2.5. Next slide, please.
Okay, here we come to the our final stage of our research. Here is our set of our tools. As you can see, guys, we have a box, and inside the box we have some humidifier, we have hygrometer, we have polymer fiber optic, and at the outside we have the amplifier. So here we have polymer fiber optic. It is basically the normal fiber optic. As we know, I guess, yeah. Fiber optic is usually use copper as the material, but here we use polymer or plastics, and we just build the polymer fiber optic, and we coat with the graphene oxide. So we dissolve the graphene oxide powder into the 45 milliliter of distilled water, and then we heat it in the microwave, so it will be a paste, and then we just coat it to our polymer optical fiber, and yeah, after that it is ready to use. And how to use this tool is basically this: we have just to connect all of our things here, and then first we can turn on the humidifier, so we can measure the humidity inside the box, and we have the hygrometer inside. It is to control the humidity. Then our polymer optical fiber here inside, that we already coated with graphene oxide inside, it is used as a sensor. So if the humidity inside the box is increased, the indicator on the amplifier will increase also, and it is controlled by the hygrometer, and it can be used as a calibrator. Yeah. So and then next, please. Yeah. Here's the result. On the left graphic, we have humidity measurement with polymer optical fiber before coating. So we just built the polymer optical fiber, and we didn't do anything about that. And this is the result. We can see here, it is just, yeah, it is linear as that. Uh, it is linear correlation is its own 0.66, and if we compare to the right graphic here, we can see that at the right graphic, yeah, we have better linear correlation. It is the humidity measurement graph with polymer optical fiber after we coat with graphene oxide, and it's shown that linear correlation is at 0.99, and that show that our research here are good, and it's work. Next, please. Okay. For this our research, we have two conclusions. The first is that the synthesis of graphene oxide from pure graphite powder using the LPE method and the addition of commercial surfactant has been successfully demonstrated by the results of the UV-Vis, XRD, and SEM-EDX tests. And second, graphene oxide coating increases the sensitivity, stability of the sensor as indicated by the increase of the linear correlation value from 0.66 to 0.99. Next, please. So this is our references to do this research, and that's all from our presentation, guys. I hope this will get something to you, and thanks for your attention, everybody. Uh, Thanks for all of us. Good afternoon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. We give applause to the participant. With some notes. Number one, the presentation is been good, okay. Number two, the methodology and data analysis is good, but the result are good, but it need to be clarified how the material for the product. I mean, this is the material in the raw. This is okay or not? Available or not? Expensive or cheap, and the other. Okay. The result is in the study product. I think the same as with the before. You must think about to go to future. This is not only research, but go to the commercial. The last, they must be note this research is new audit flow of research. I think it's important because in the novelty research, this is very, very important. Yeah. Okay, overall is good and continue to next research. Good luck. Okay, applause with participant. I say to actuaria, you say success, success, success. Okay? Okay. And if I say ITS, bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay? Okay. ITS! Semangat, semangat. ITS! Actuaria! Okay, thank you. Applause untuk yourself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jupri, for keeping our spirit, and thank you for the previous presenter. Now, before we continue to the sixth theme, can the representative from SMP Alikma Boarding School Batu raise their hand? Okay, they're not here. Okay. So let's go ahead and skip the sixth team because they're not attending the event. And now let's go ahead and call the seventh team. So joining us online, please welcome Vincent Claus Junior Fredian Brimalalong from SMPK Santa Maria 1 Malang. If you are ready, you can start your presentation now.
Hello, judges. Thank you for the opportunity so that we can present our research today in Inventors Talk 2022. We are from Saint Mary One Junior High School Malang, and our members are.
My name is Bima.
My name is Gracia.
My name is Carol.
My name is Joanna. And I'm Linda.
As we know, rice is the main food commodity in Indonesia, especially in Malang Regency. If rice production is poor, the quality of rice will also decrease, and it will be detrimental to the people of Indonesia, especially Malang Regency. As strengthened by FTGS, relate to the second goal to eliminate hunger and improve nutrition in society.
On President Joko Widodo's speech delivery about a country that needs to be self-sufficient in terms of food. It is likely that rice productivity in 2022 will decrease due to extreme weather, which often falls in Malang. It is also emphasized by Kopi Indar Parawansah during a visit to Singosari Malang that from initially 14 tons per hectare to 9 tons per hectare due to climate change, according to GPPN in 2020. The method used by the farmers is still not optimal because they have to measure the soil moisture and spray the plants manually. And of course, it takes a long time.
The 4.0 Industrial Revolution era marked the start of a new phase in technological development by implementing various internet-based activities such as the IoT NEA. Rice production efficiency can be increased by using the technology of the fourth industrial revolution. So the soil moisture is preserved. This irrigation system requires automatic water irrigation. In addition, it makes simpler for farmers to control the proper level of
So, with the problem we experienced in this district, we found IoT-based automatic river designed to prevent a decline in rice production in climate change in Malang Region City.
Our research has two main goals. First, to determine the condition of the productivity of rice farmer in Malang Region, and to find out the right solution to deal with the poor productivity condition of rice farmer in the Malang Region. The research methodology that we use is R&D, or research and development, which we carry out during August 2022 on Colonel Sugiono 3C Malang, East Java, Indonesia. These are the tool and material that we use for the making of automatic refed.
The steps to create the automatic refed are prepare the tool to be used to turn on or activate the automatic refed, then prepare the node MCU ESP8266, which has been programmed and also the plan are gonna be used. Connect the ESP node MCU with a 5V voltage source. Then the pump will turn on or off automatically, and the LCD will display the moisture of the plant.
This is our design and the prototype, but when the rice fields is more bigger, we will make the bigger prototype, and we will make an improvement of the materials. And this is our result in this research. We can see it on the block diagram and the flow chart. When the moisture value is above 1000, the pump will turn on, and when it's below 600, the pump will turn off.
After experimenting for 7 times, automatic refed can be operated properly and can be used of the rice productivity, especially in the Malang region. Our work has received a validation letter so that our experiment can be said to be original and suitable for use in research.
And this is our SWOT analysis of this automatic refed. The strength is automatic refed using solar cells and conducted automatically for 24 hours. The weakness is the water refill is still manual and no operational flight. The opportunities is needed in irrigation system and facilitate farmers' effort to produce a good rice. And then the threats, if there is a similar tool. As a good researcher, it can be developed in the future, so we can see it on the fishbone diagram. For the human resources, we want to giving employees a sense of purpose in their work by utilizing automatic refed. For the natural resources, this product or this prototype is utilizing automatic irrigation equipment and soil moisture to enhance efficiency at work. And for the technique, this automatic refed utilizing IoT in the 4.0 industrial revolution with ASP and 5C voltage source.
The government is optimization program for farmers towards the use of IoT increasing rice productivity. For economics, this tool can increase revenue from top quality rice and use as an additional producer for the paddy farm. Polluted environment caused by waste product from the manufacturing processes. So this automatic refed can be used as tool for automatic soil moisture monitoring and watering to boost rice productivity.
The conclusion of this research are automatic refed can help farmers with automatic rice irrigation system based on soil moisture. Without having to worry about climate change, automatic refed can boost rice output. especially in non-emergency. Additionally, automatic repair can be linked to an application, allowing users to monitor rice soil moisture on land rather than manually each day.
The suggestions of our research are: we hope that this automatic repair using more sophisticated tools so that the automatic irrigation process in this automatic repair can run more optimally. In addition, the development of this automatic repair can use a solenoid valve as a disposal of excess irrigation water.
This is our resources for this research, and that's all from us. But before that, Rifat can help the farmers, can help the others. But before we end our presentation, let me show you all. We will show you how to operate this automatic pivot.
Sudah untuk di online? It's okay? This is to stop.
For the participant, maybe you can share your sound first because we cannot hear a thing about your video.
So we want to show how to operate this automatic pivot. So first, connect the pump into the bowl of water and connect the hose into the plant. And after that, you can download the Blink application in Android or iOS to be able to connect with the ESP9266 module. And there are several tools that can be used. These are the supercharge tools in the Blink application to serve and to show live charge number. Then, this is the LCD tools in the Blink application function to display the program with input V1. And after setting up the application, it can be used as a display of soil condition in plants. When the ADC is above 1000, which is dry, the pump will turn on automatically and the Blink app will show the display. But when the ADC is below 1000, which is normal, or below 600, which is wet, the pump will turn off automatically and the Blink app will show the display on your Android or iOS. And you can look at the information of the ADC and the display in the LCD. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you SMPK Santa Maria One Malang for the presentation. Let's give them a round of applause.
Okay, thank you. Once again, be applause with the participant. Okay, some notes, this participant, the presentation has been good. Okay, the methodology and data analysis is good. The result also good. It remains to be proven on the actual product and needs to be tested further. I mean, all participants, if you give the product, you be continue to the tested in community. This is good or not. Okay, but overall is good. I think this is continue the next research. Okay, thank you. Please applause all participants. Ya, oh pakai danda cinta.
Okay, once again, thank you for SMBK Santa Maria One Malang for the incredible presentation. Now, we go ahead and continue to the eighth team. Please welcome Frankie Prabowo Saputro Wijayanto from SMA Trend Science Muhammadiyah Sragen. Please give them a round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Have you ever been thinking if a people with a chronic disorder walk alone or travel alone with nobody around to the place that nobody around? Isn't that dangerous? So we want to solve it. Honorable to all judges and all participants of Inventor Talk. My name is Novel Sakif.
My name is Frankie Prabowo. And my name is Ahsan Nafsidki.
We are from SMA Transcends Muhammadiyah Sragen. Want to tell you our product by the title SMAP, Smart Epilepsy Back as an epilepsy morbidity sufferer based on monitor based on IoT. Let's explore the introduction. Next. Next. Okay. So basically, the most reason why we made this is because one time when we studied, our teacher suddenly fell and then get seizure. We panic then. Thankfully, there's people can take care about him. And then we think, fortunately, our teacher get an epilepsy in the class with many people. What if our teacher get an epilepsy when he's travel alone, walk alone to the place that nobody around, and then the epilepsy it's occurs, and then we want to help him. So next. Epilepsy is a dangerous chronic disorder. It's caused by an extensive brain neutron problem, and can cause many problems. Some of them there is a fracture, and then next fracture when the patient is fall, and then the reduction of cognitive skill, and the last and the most dangerous it can cause death. Next. Okay. So there is many symptoms of epilepsy,
In some of that, there is muscle stiffness, anti-ice, and the most we know is seizure, and the last is unconsciousness.
Okay, next. Next. This is the all components in our product. The first is Arduino to program all programs and as a microcontrollers. And the next, there is a accelerometer sensor to detect the patient in fall condition. And the next, there is a vibration sensor to detect if the patient seizure condition. And the next, there is a GSM X100L module to send message and to phone calls to the monitor. And the next, there is a GPS module to detect when the epilepsy super recurs. And next slide. Okay, waste bag. Why we use waste bag? Because waste bag is small size and comfort when used. And this is used for a long period of time because uh, small size and comfort when used. So this easy to use too. And this save important items such as uh, wallet, money, or handphone, and more fashionable because this is waste bag. Next slide. This is the making process of SMAP. The first is prepare the design, scheme, and component. The second, assemble the component. Third, program all component using Arduino IDE. Fourth, setting up SMS, point call, and GPS service. And the last, ready, assemble the component to the waste bag. Next slide.
Okay, so we do some tests. This is the first test in normal condition. We can see there is the LED is off, there is no sound of the buzzer, there's no message, and there is no phone call. Okay, next slide. The second one is in prone condition. In this position, you can see that the LED is on, there's no sound of buzzer, but there is a message sent to the monitor and there is no phone call. Next slide. Okay, same as the prone condition. In fine condition, we can see the LED is on, there's no sound of buzzer, there's a message, and the phone call is off. Next slide. And the last is in seizure condition. Here, we can see and there's a message and a phone call. Right. Okay, next slide.
Okay, there are excellence in our product. The first is safe when traveling alone because it uses a GPS tracker, so we can know where the patient epilepsy records. And the two, easy to use because it uses an automatic microcontroller. And the last, comfortable to use and more fashionable because use it waist bag. Next slide. And the benefit in our project is first, it can reduce anxiety when and increase self-confidence when traveling alone. And the last, it can send notification when epilepsy records. Next slide.
Okay, we here we we want to keep if someone on your family have an epilepsy, you can if you want this product, you can meet us after this event or after this.
Basically, we want to help you guys. If you have a passion with epilepsy, we can help to make the system appropriate. Maybe there is from us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's our presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you. Some notes. One, the presentation must be rehearsed. So you must try and try and try. Go do the presentation is good. Okay. Number two, the methodology is good, but the data analysis is less detailed. So you must clear of analysis data. Okay. Number three, pay attention to how the availability of material to produce research result. I mean, this is material in this your area. Go to the product. This is enough or not enough. Okay, but overall is good and continue to the next reason. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Be applause to this participant.
Okay, thank you, SMA Trend Science Muhammadiyah Sragen for the presentation. So lastly, we go ahead and call the last team, the ninth team. So please welcome Darren Akbar Fibisono from SMP Lab School Kebayoran. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Before that, let's test. Mari kita tes semangat dulu. When I say ITS, you say sukses. Okay? 3, 2, 1. ITS.
Sukses.
Yang bagian kanan ini kurang nih. Ayo sekali lagi. 3, 2, 1. ITS. Oke. Jadi sebelum itu, before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Darren Akbar Wisono as the team captain.
My name is Dafa Muhammad Hidayat as a member. My name is Dafi Muhammad Hidayat as a member.
And my name is Danish Amasatria as a member.
And today, we are here to present to you about our
Implement-
title,
Implementation of 4D Trash Game and Campaign in Raising People's Awareness of Environmental Waste in SMP Lab School Kebayoran.
Next.
Next slide, please.
Next.
There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations General Assembly at 2015 that must be achieved by each member at 2030.
4D Trash Game is a simple game concept made especially for young children, playgroup, and elementary school. This game is also to teach them to throw trashes, especially in their early ages. This game is hopefully to help and achieve SDG number 14, life below water.
Our ocean is in danger because people still throw their trashes in the ocean. This is to support SDG number 14, life below water.
A 2015 study estimated more than 15 trillion of trashes are in the ocean and growing every year.
In 2019, more than 80% of all the marine pollution comes from land-based activities. Humans nowadays are still less care and may not be aware on how dangerous their actions are to the environment.
And our country, Indonesia, is the biggest and the most beautiful marine country in the world. As Indonesians' young generation, we must care for our ocean.
These goals must be achieved. If not, we may lose a massive amount of food resources. Just imagine you don't have fish anymore.
No salt, no fish oil.
And no medicine.
So, we are now here at 4D's Trash Game. In my previous milestones, I had Trash Manager and Litter Filter.
So, what does the game tells us about? A friend dolphin is seeking big help from Dodo, an adorable monkey from the land, to help him from trash raining in the ocean. You, as the player, must help Dodo by steering the boat to collect all the trashes.
So, how do you create a game? With using the platform called Scratch. In Scratch, we can add different types of sprites, which in every sprites, you can add different type of coding blocks, which they can perform differently in your project.
So, how do we play the game? To play this game, all you need to do is to scan the QR code provided or to click the link provided into the internet browser and let's see together. Move the boat left to right by using your mouse. Touch the threshold on the star. Each threshold is a certain level. At the higher the boat, the higher the score. And if the score reaches high enough, then a gold star will fall from the sky. And if you catch that gold star, that indicates that you have won the game.
Ini baru game.
To make this project successful, we are collaborating with Kementerian Lingkungan. So how could this project raise people's awareness? First, by playing the fun game.
Then increase awareness and participation.
To make this project successful, we are collaborating with Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup Republic of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Siti Nurbaya. Let's hear the message from our ministry.
Ini baru game yang keren. For this stress karya tim 4D dari SMP Lab School Kebayoran. Tahu kan, saat ini lingkungan hidup terancam oleh sampah dari aktivitas manusia. Nah, di game ini kita diajak untuk semakin peduli dengan krisis persampahan ini. Kita bisa beraksi membebaskan laut dari sampah. Yuk mainkan game gratis dan semakin peduli dengan laut kita. Keren.
We are also very happy to receive support from the leader of MPR, Mr. Bambang Susatyo, MBA. And let's hear his message.
Hai guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Bambang Susatyo, Ketua MPR Republik Indonesia. Mengucapkan selamat untuk tim 4D dari SMP Lab School Kebayoran Jakarta yang sudah membuat kita semua semakin peduli akan kebersihan laut dan lingkungan lewat game 4D Trust yang seru buatan mereka. Kita coba untuk mencegah terjadinya kecelakaan maka masuk juga menjaga laut. Bagi yang belum mencoba, ayo main game ini pasti seru, pasti selamatkan lingkungan hidup untuk kehidupan yang lebih baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And we are happy to receive support.
And here's the clip. Here's the, Here's a clip of Mr. Bambang Susatyo playing our game. He's also playing with and shown by his face expression, he seems a lot clearly enjoying our game. We are also slowly raising his awareness to save our oceans by throwing the trash in the right places.
And we are happy to receive support from the Chief of Lembaga Pendidikan and Pelatihan Polri, Mr. Komisaris General Police, Professor Dr. Rico Amelza Daniel, MSI.
This gift is quite a point of our life. Let's bring and see people in this village and this ways, human ways, let's play the quick game, let's play in care about our Udah berlangsung lama nih bumi ini terancam
Also very delighted to receive support
tugas kita
Ini nih baru game keren. Namanya Before This. Ini adalah karya dari tim 4D
presenter
SMP
Sophie
Lab School
Extravaganza.
Kebayoran.
Let's
Tahu
hear
kenapa
their
sekarang
message.
lingkungan hidup kita terancam oleh sampah manusia. Dan di game ini kita diajak untuk makin peduli dengan kondisi ini. Nah, kondisi kita diajak beraksi untuk bisa membebaskan laut dari sampah, untuk bisa membebaskan lingkungan hidup dari sampah. Jadi makanya mainkan yuk game gratisnya dan yuk makin peduli dengan lingkungan hidup dan laut kita. Dan laut
yang akhirnya punya dampak yang jelas buat semua orang. Kalian hebat, hebat sekali. Pokoknya silakan.
Selamat untuk tim 4D dari SMP Lab School Kebayoran. Sudah membuat kita semakin
Bank Mandiri.
lingkungan, kebersihan laut dan lingkungan hidup. Lewat game 4D Test yang seru banget. Yang belum coba, ayo main game ini. Selamatkan lingkungan hidup untuk kehidupan yang lebih baik. Let's go! Jaya! Let's go! Jaya, jaya, jaya!
There are many ways to save the ocean. 4D's trash game is one of the solutions.
We will not stop here. We are hoping to reach the global students so we could raise their awareness as well.
What have you learned? It's a quiz.
What is our newest product name? A, for trash manager, B, little filter, or C, for this trash game?
If you want to answer, please raise your hand.
Correct, it's C.
All right, next question. What is our monkey friend's name? A, Momo, B, Dodo, or C, Go-Go? Anybody want to answer? You're right. It's B, Dodo.
So, what is SDG? A. Snake Dog Gorilla. Or B. Sausage Donut Gelato. Or C. Sustainable Development Goals. You're correct. It's C. Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you for your attention. We really hope you enjoyed our presentation. Once again, I am Darren.
I am Dafa.
I am Duffy.
I am Danish.
And have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you. This is the last participant. Okay. I want to some notes. One, the presentation is good. Two, methodology and analysis data is good. So I think we give applause to the participant. Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Before we go, we would like to perform a little dance.
A little dance.
Okay?
Yeah.
3,
2, 1. Happy, happy 4D. Happy, happy 4D. Let's go!
Thank you. Now I want to some notes for all participants. Okay. One, the presentation must convince other participants so that the presentation is good. You must fight to struggle. Number two, the methodology must be clear and coherent. Number three, data analysis must also be clear and provide solutions. Number four, must be explain it in front of this original research or the develop of previous research. Number 5, make sure that the result of this study have a prototype that has been tested in the community. The last, hopefully young Indonesia researchers will continue to spread their wings for the rise of Indonesia, especially in the world of research. We give applause of all participants. Okay, thank you. Sukses. Ayo, Mas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jupri, for the reviews in Soro. So apparently, this event has come to an end, and my name is Glegar. As the MC for today, I would like to say thank you for attending the NASPO and I2ASPO 2022 Inventors Talk. Have a nice day, everyone, and thank you once again.
Halo yang tesis, sekarang saya berada di Universitas Diponegoro, Semarang, Jawa Tengah. Indonesian Young Scientist Association bekerja sama dengan Fakultas Teknik Universitas Diponegoro akan menyelenggarakan event tahunan kami, yaitu ASEAN Innovative Science Development and Entrepreneur Fair 2022. Event ini akan diselenggarakan secara hybrid, offline dan online pada bulan Februari 2023 di Fakultas Teknik Universitas Diponegoro. Dan pada kesempatan kali ini, kami dari panitia IYSA akan memberikan That's right, fully funded mengikuti event World Youth Invention and Innovation Award 2023 di Singapura. Ini pembiayaan tiket pesawat, akomodasi, dan lain-lain. Ayo tunggu apa lagi, daftar proyek kalian dan ikutilah event FTF 2023 di Universitas Diponegoro, Semarang. Sampai jumpa di Semarang.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Pak Rozi, pembimbing dari SMA Negeri 1 Kaliwungu yang tergabung dalam kelompok riset Semanka atau KRIS. Pada event kali ini saya menemukan anak didik saya pada ajang Indonesia International Invention Expo supaya mereka lebih bisa berkreasi, berinovasi dalam riset supaya menjadi
Recording stopped.